Welcome to Empowered. I'm Elizabeth Namovsky. Justice is what everyone seeks when they or someone else has been wronged. Today's guest has experienced violence and is now an advocate against it. She says that she has a call going out from her heart to the heart of every woman. She says, be afraid, be someone else, show up, and woman up. Today, I'm joined by Anu George Canjanathoppil, CEO of International Justice Mission Canada. International Justice Mission is a global organization that protects people in poverty from violence. Anu, thank you so much for being here today. Can you just share a bit about your personal journey from experiencing violence to becoming an advocate against it?
Absolutely. I was barely 23 when it first happened, and still 23 when it happened again. And this time by absolute strangers, people I had no knowledge of. But what was powerful for me at that point was staring at impunity straight on, to know that you could have all the education in the world, but if you came in the way of challenging injustice, and if the perpetrator had the benefit of the public justice system serving him versus the victim, then odds are stacked against you. When I say all odds, all odds. And for me, at that point, I felt when violence glares at us with unrelenting intensity, I asked myself this: what is the cost of my silence going to be? What price do I pay for the comfort of conformity? Can I succumb to the seduction of approval or the paralysis of rejection? Or do I confront the very same violence with unwavering boldness, unyielding resolve, and uncompromising determination?
So, what are some of the pivotal moments or experiences that inspired you to take action against violence?
I think I started challenging injustice and violence when I was rather young, probably 6 or 7, when I started seeing that things were very different outside of my household. My family was a safe place. My parents were absolute delight to, be a part of the family with. But that is not the reality of people outside of my house. And it made me very uncomfortable that some had to live life in a different way than I did, and that some were never going to feel safe. That inequality of the situation bothered me. And that inequality also led to me challenging the status quo of people within my community. Like basic things like access to water was a problem, access to a system where you can dispose the garbage was a problem. So 13 years was when I decided to take that up against the local justice system and ensured that we had water brought to our community and that the power dynamics would not come in the way of us getting access to the very basic benefits. And that's when I discovered that law is powerful, and our voice, however young you might be, whatever your gender might be, if it's a voice of reason, there is no option but to be heard. That was my start, I think.
I love it. I love your start, and you were so young. So, reflecting on your own experiences, what do you believe are some of the most significant barriers or challenges survivors of violence encounter when trying to advocate for change?
There are many answers to that question. It's a combination of stigma and shame associated with their experiences, then lack of support systems, whether it's emotional or practical, then fear of retaliation from abusers. I see that all the time. And failed systems, that really breaks it for the survivor. Then in developing countries, there are the legal and the bureaucratic hurdles, and financial constraints limiting advocacy efforts, then the trauma, PTSD, and then not knowing law, and or having the way to engage the media, public apathy, then intersectional discrimination, gender, everything. But for me, I think the biggest challenge was myself, referencing the person before paralysis, before the attack, to who I was at that point, and I thought I wasn't enough. So I think for a survivor, giving that environment, it's not just inviting them to the table, but letting them know that they own the table is really important for those who are partnering with them.
You know, you've got so many incredible words of wisdom, and I know that there are a lot of victims out there that don't have the courage to speak, that don't have the courage to go ahead and think that being silenced will be okay for now. When we come back from the commercial break, I want to talk to you about, how you found the courage and the strength to speak out against violence, because it is not easy. So please don't go away. We'll be right back.